Mzansi, welcome to it as Hollywood Bets brings you Game On. I am Sizwe Mabena and proud to be in your company. And today I'm in the company of some legends in Jerry Skosana as well as Shane McGregor, of course, as we break down what's been happening out in England firstly. Things interesting at the bottom of the table. But firstly, let's talk about the bad luck that's befallen Forest at a rather crucial point in the season as well. The timing is to die for.
Yeah, very, very bad timing. You know, they just getting results, getting above the relegation zone battle, and then all of a sudden dock 4 points. You know, it's not great for them. Look, it happens. Unfortunately for them, it came at the wrong time. You know, they came up against a good 1-1 draw against Luton.
We're right there in that battle.
We're right there, exactly. So that was a great result for them. You know, especially away from home, and they got the result, 1-1. But now dock the 4 points. Now they're all of a sudden below Luton, a point behind them. So it's not great. You know, I just feel that things should be done differently. Start of the season, you get this and you sort it out. Not halfway through the season, and not even. It's longer than halfway.
Yeah, it's the second half of the season.
Yeah, very late. So unfortunately for them, that the worst part about all of this is as well, they got some decent players coming through. They're going to have to sell them, so that they can come back, so that they don't get docked even further in the next season or two. So they're going to have to sell those players. And unfortunately, you can't build a team around the players that they just brought in. One of those things.
Talk to me about the spirit in the change room when this happens to players. Obviously, their heads will drop at a crucial point in the season, as we mentioned. Yeah. Also, you've got the relegation battle happening. There's some management work to be done here and getting them to lift their chins.
Yeah, that's very difficult, to go into that change room after this and try and get the players G'd up.
Because it's
not their fault.
Yeah.
Exactly, it's management's fault. But they've got a good coach in Santo. I think he'll change things around for them anyway. He's a very, very good coach, very experienced. We've seen what he's done in the Premier League before. He'll get them going. There's ways and means of going about this. If you see the players are down, you can just say, look, we've done it before, we can do it again. Yeah. Let's just go out there and fight, give it our all. I think he'll get them going.
Important result for Burnley in their 2-1 win over Brentford. They led 2-0. Brentford had a player sent off as well. And, things were going their way, Burnley.
Well, they were lucky that they had the player sent off. It always helps when you're playing against 10 men. But for Burnley, I think it's a little bit too late. I really do. They have been struggling the whole season, they've been sticking to their guns, though. That's one thing about Company, what I like about him. He believes in the way he plays. Unfortunately, and I'm going to say this in a nice way, he doesn't have the players around him to play like that. But, it's a learning curve. If they do go down, they'll bounce back straight away, I think, as I personally think. But I do like the way he plays, and I do like that he's stuck to it. He hasn't changed. He hasn't gone around and decided, we're losing games, we're going to change our philosophy. Good luck to him. But I think it's a little bit too late for them at this moment.
Last week, discussed Tottenham, the impressive result they had over Aston Villa. They were back in the top 4 race. Not that they're out of it just yet, but then they go in the London derby and lose to Fulham, where the wheels come apart. 3-0 the scoreline in favour of Fulham here.
Yeah, great result for Fulham.
Yeah.
A derby game, they also now pushing, for that European spot. So, Spurs are one of those teams. There's a few of them around at the moment. Spurs, Chelsea, sorry, who? That team.
There's a Liverpool fan.
That team that are there, okay. But there's a lot of inconsistency with these teams. And if you look at the top half, the 3 top teams, there's been a lot of consistency. With these 3 teams that we're talking about, inconsistency has been the biggest problem for them. And Spurs are one of those. You go get a great result. You come up against Fulham and you get thumped 3-0. The manager must be pulling his hair out. It's like, what do I do now? Where do I go? But these things happen. And the Premier League, that's what I love about the Premier League. On any given day, any team can beat any other team.
Now, we have to talk about Fulham in the season they're having. Not too long ago, they were celebrating the win over Manchester United. It was an impressive game. Here they are with another big scalping in that of Tottenham. 12th on the log. For Fulham fans, this must be a good season.
I can see a Man United supporter because you said big scalp. Anyway, it is a big scalp when you're in that area and you're playing against each other. But it was a good result. Fulham again well. I like the way they're playing. They, especially at home at Craven Cottage, it's very difficult to go there. It's a small little compact field. Very old, very traditional. So to go there and play there, it's very difficult. Teams don't like the smaller space, like to have the big open space. There, you don't get that. So It's actually good. I like the way they've been playing. Let's just hope they can keep it going. I would like to see them going to Europe. I must be honest with you. Even if it's Europa, that's fine, as long as they get there. But they're a team, I would hate to be going to their ground and playing them. When I'm a manager and I look and say, this is a difficult fixture.
Now, when you look at the top of the log, you've got Arsenal, Liverpool, City. Arsenal and Liverpool on 64, City just a point behind them. Sean Wright-Phillips made an interesting point here in South Africa most recently in an interview I heard where he says, well, look, Liverpool and Arsenal, very good squads, exciting on the day, strong starting 11, and so on, add one or two players. But the big difference going into this time of the season, March, April, May, is the depth of the squad, because you're busy with the FA Cup, the Champions League as well is also a distraction, and things are just getting more and more intense. Every game is almost like a final now. Doesn't matter the competition. And he says he favours City in this regard to get over the line ahead of the others, purely based on depth.
Yeah, it's a difficult one because they do have the depth. We've seen that, that they got players in each and every position. Liverpool have had their injury worries over the last few months. They're slowly but surely the players are coming back. We've seen an Arsenal team where they have brought in the right players. I think Declan Rice must be the bar of the season, of the last 3-4 seasons. He's changed the way Arsenal play. They don't really have the depth. Partey's been out injured, so we've seen it. But the one thing I do like is they're still getting the results, not like last season. Going into this period, it's always difficult. It's a good time to have a break now, an international break. Though a lot of the managers will be looking and saying, I hope none of my players get injured in the international break. But it's a good time for clubs like Liverpool that are bringing players back in. For City, he's going to be watching and looking and just praying that none get injured. But depth is always a big thing. I just feel, no matter what way we look at it, end of the game, end of the season, last games, we're going to be seeing who's going to win the league. Up until then, not for sure.
I have to talk about the top four race. Tottenham and Aston Villa just 3 points apart. United is on 47 points. They somewhere off of the 53 Tottenham have. So it's looking as though it's a Villa-Tottenham race. Quite a story for Villa, and it would be quite an accomplishment at the end of the season if they are to finish in the top four.
Especially the way they've been playing this season. They've gone through a bad patch late the last couple of months, but it looks like they're bouncing back. I hope they stay up there, I must be honest, just for the sake of the so-called smaller clubs.
Sure.
I like the way the manager has gone about business, so I'm just hoping that they're going to be there. But it's very inconsistent in there at the moment, so anything can still happen there.
Well, exciting times for Aston Villa fans. Their fans will be hoping that they can do the business, of course. And, that's it for Shane and I for the time being. I come back on the other side of this, of course, speaking to Jerry, the Legs of Thunder Skosana.